I'll call the meeting to order at 7:30 PM. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Gail Chancellor Eisenberg.
Here.
Trustee Kate Cassell McNally.
Here.
Trustee Mark Peterson.
Here.
Trustee Jessica Tucker.
Here.
Administrator and Deputy Clerk Larisha Pearson.
Yes. Okay.
And is our assessor, and Trustee Stephen Motion.
Here.
Is our assessor Jan Churchwell joining us?
Can I get through there? I don't see how you get through.
Okay, we'll now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will hand this to you, Larry. I don't know why.
Up here, go here.
Okay, supervisors report. I didn't write down everything we did because there's been a lot going on. Yesterday was the Glen Kirk ribbon cutting, which was lovely. They have a new building in Northbrook. It is fabulous. We secured a grant through one of our township senators, so Julie Morrison, to be able to obtain that building. Got to tour that building. It will have be the hub. They have various sites throughout our area for day programs, employment services, as well as housing support and behavioral health. So really a fabulous site. It was wonderful to see everybody get so excited. And they had a great video that I'm hoping I can get my hands on and share with some of the clients sharing their perspective on Glen Kirk, and that was really lovely because we've been supporting them for a while. On Sunday was the Women's Library Club of Glencoe's grant reception. The Angel Fund received a grant to provide hygiene bags again this summer. So that was lovely because it also was an opportunity to network with some of our other agency partners, many of which were also being supported by the WLC. If you guys don't know, WLC owns the land that the Writers Theater is on. So they get to use the Writers Theater in perpetuity as their clubhouse.
Oh, wow.
Right, so they have a lot of great events coming up, check them out. I don't think of Janice here, I'd love the record reflect. We had Memorial Day celebrations throughout the township and memorials throughout the township. Thank you to Trustee Kate Cassell McNally and her kids for participating in the march in Wilmette, along with a number of other tweens. We gathered along the way, but a beautiful ceremony as always. And I know that there were observances throughout the township as well. I'm sure I will remember other things that happened in the last few weeks, but we will go on to the approval of the
Fabulous. So I would like to first say, please do not approve the minutes, but no, take them home with you. Hallelujah, I finished with the help of Heather going over. Just to tell you the truth, I listened over and over to the tape. It's not an excuse. I understand you need these. These are done. I'm only giving you so you can look at them before the next meeting. And I'm asking that you will table them for the next time. With everything, like, the only issue is Trustee Tucker. I have to get the actual numbers, but I wrote down that I would. Otherwise, it is over and over and over again. And I have to say it, I used to have a real knack for this, but it seems harder and harder than ever to get everything exactly right. This is the bare bones part without the, but it's still 8 pages. It is without the attachments, which make it fantastic now. So please table us.
Okay. Questions,
Yeah.
but I didn't, first I.
Is there a motion to approve?
Your report?
Go ahead.
Oh, because I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, I'm still learning, figuring out what I did all on.
Okay, I didn't want to interrupt. No, I just had a question. Do we produce minutes from the town hall meeting, the annual meeting?
Yes.
So we should be seeing those at some point?
Not
Yeah,
even
we accept them and thing and you got it.
It's
Oh,
after
annual.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's
right.
right.
We
Yeah.
don't have to worry about this for a while.
But good question,
Okay,
yeah.
that's right. I forgot. That's okay.
Okay, see those.
Right. Okay, that's it, thank you.
So the only thing you'll notice under the approval of claims, it's to be inserted with all the.
Right, for the total amount, so we just put total amount and then the details are attached.
But I'm certainly
somewhere.
not asking you to speed,
Yeah, no, I
But
can't. let
it
these
is
to them.
done and,
Is there,
ridiculously.
is there a motion to table the approval of the May 2026 Board of Trustees meeting minutes?
So,
Second.
Mark, trustee Peterson, second Jessica Tucker. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, they are tabled. Clerk's report.
Okay, I have no report.
All right. Okay. Financial reports, we're joined by Tom. And Tom, I will make you our host.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
evening.
I'm filling in for James, so let's see.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So we'll take a look at our financials. We're through the first quarter of this fiscal year through May 31st. On the revenue side, total revenue so far year to date, 1,643,577. That's 42% of our budget. It looks like property taxes are coming in on schedule. That looks good. Replacement taxes trending at 33%, so about 8% more than we'd expect to see through the first quarter. Passport fees looking good as well. Interest right about on track. On the expense side, total expenses so far 376,259. We're at 9% of budget there. Just a couple categories showing a little bit higher than we expect to be, that 25% marker. We've got meeting expense at 30%. That's a relatively low dollar amount, nothing to be alarmed with there. Contractual services trending at 36%. My guess is probably just some front-loaded expenses for this fiscal year, nothing to be alarmed with. The other one, same thing, smaller dollar amounts or just above that 25% threshold. So nothing to worry about there, trending well below budget so far, that 9%. Overall, sitting at a surplus here of 1,267,317. We know we'll start to spend that down a bit before the next tax installment later in the year. And then an overall fund balance of 4,158,449. It looks like the angel fund is broken out separately.
No need to go over that. That's for tomorrow.
Okay, very good. On the next page here, just looking at our revenues and expenses a little bit more. As I mentioned, obviously property taxes being our big driver there at 97% of revenues. The state replacement tax is just over 1%. And the expense side, personnel at about 33%. We've got our financial assistance there at 19.5%, building town hall expenses just over 10%, and then contractual services there at 23%. This page, just another look at our actual versus budget on the revenue and expense side. And then I'll skip down to our list of bank accounts and investment accounts here, totaling a book balance 4,122,415. I don't know, is there anything else James would have gone into normally or any questions you may have?
Well, let's see if there are questions from the board. Any questions?
I had a
Trustee
question on the
Moser.
first page. You have a negative number of 193,448. It's just kind of sitting down there at the bottom. What does that represent and where is that? How does that plug in?
So it looks like this was for the budget. It looks like
That number.
we had budgeted for a spend down or a deficit spend of 193,448 for the budget.
Okay. So is that a negative number?
That is a negative. That would be a spend down based on the budget for the year.
So
Is
what's
that-
that involved?
Yeah. Is that to come or is that to pass years? I'm
This is to come
Yeah,
on
it's
our
coming.
budget to, it is a deficit budget because we don't ever meet those line items.
So we're budgeting a negative 200,000.
Right. In
Okay,
total.
that's why I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
Right. So we've been trying to spend down some of our surpluses to a more manageable number, right? Which has been little by little for about 10 years.
Okay.
Yep. Any additional questions? Do you want to go to to the check register area.
Sure.
Are there any questions on the check register? And the claims? You want me to give you a report on checks?
We have not done the agency partner checks yet. That will be done this summer. That'll be done in July. Summer camp checks will be cut tomorrow. I don't think that there's anything else really major right now.
And the summer camp is open through the 22nd, right? The summer camp application.
Summer camp applications is complete.
Oh, it's
You're thinking about
complete.
Before and after.
Before and after.
Before and after camp.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So as you'll see in June's report, 22 children received scholarships for camp. Yeah.
And the agency checks, is that were they all paid out yet, or are we still
No,
paying?
not
out?
yet. The
Oh,
first tranche will be in early July.
In July, yeah.
Yeah, early July.
Oh,
Yeah.
We do it in 3.
right, I know we split it up, but I thought the last one went out, so they've gotten all their funding for this year.
Yep,
Last.
it's at the end of each of the
Okay.
try, yeah, versus the
Okay.
beginning, yeah.
All right,
We did have one agency that did not cash their final check. Despite it saying do so within 90 days, 60 days. And then when they figured that out, they were a little upset, but we explained to them that we made it pretty clear at this point. It was certainly concerning to me that they didn't notice, for 3 months, more
Yeah.
months, so.
Was it, do we know if it was somebody who received it in person?
It was in
at the-
person, absolutely was in person, yep. Yep,
Okey-doke.
I am assuming someone got talking to.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion, for the verification of claims, trustee Moser?
would make a motion to approve the financial report presented for the town fund and general fund for the period of May 1st, 2026 through May 31st, 2026, as presented to the board this evening, and attach those financial statements to the verification claim as well.
Second.
Second by Kate. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Supervisor Eisenberg,
Yes.
trustee Cassell McNally.
Yes.
Trustee Peterson.
Yes.
Trustee Mosher.
Yes.
And trustee Tubman.
yes.
All right, Assessor Churchwell, your report.
Yes, we are still open for appeals. We will be open through June 22nd. It's going along very smoothly this year, which I'm very happy about, in that there was never an initial sort of barrage that made it impossible to keep up. So everything has gone along very smoothly. We're just sort of a regular, some people all the time. Excuse me, but that's very easy to manage, so I'm feeling quite comfortable about that. Last Thursday, the county assessor did their annual outreach, which was some different from what it has been in the past, in that they did not bring a whole host of people and plan to do any actual filing for people or hands-on stuff. They went through the process of how the appeals work, and then they actually took a lot of time to answer questions from anybody and everybody who was there, which was really very nice. And along the way, some interesting things were mentioned. They've got some new features, or expanded some features, and which of course we don't get notices about, but they would say, "Oh, well, look, you can go there and do this now." And so it was actually a useful meeting. I took lots of nice notes, which as soon as we're done with appeals, I will sit down and go through and put into effect whatever may help. But it was very good. And the night before that meeting, I had attended a little presentation at the Coldwell Banker office, now in Hubbard Woods, at the request of a friend of mine who is a realtor there, it was just a Zoom meeting with anybody who cared to listen from their staff and clientele. And I just, spoke for a couple of minutes, answered a couple of questions for her. She and I have been working together in it's pretty casual, but we want to make it more formal, or rather more regular, a way to get the information out to people who are buying and selling about how important it is to be aware of Whether the exemptions are going, well, the exemptions are going to change. When you sell a house, you're going to have to reapply for exemptions now. They're going to disappear. And a lot of people are beginning to pay more attention to that, even if the dollar amount isn't large. They need to know, that that there will be a change made. And this a long time ago, once the homeowner's exemption was in place, it stayed because it belonged to the property. Somebody owned the property and there was an exemption. And that's no longer the case. Now, although it still is attached to the property, each new person in the home has to say, I'm here now and I get that exemption. Excuse me. And so there are a lot of people who simply just don't even think about that. They think the homeowner exemption is there and it's going to stay there. Well, no, it isn't. As soon as a sale is reported, all the exemptions automatically disappear. So she and I have been working, as I say, sort of casually to try and get together a body of information for her to share with her office and her clients about how the process works for exemptions and then for the importance of appealing to get the assessment down, especially if somebody pays a great deal less than what the assessed value is for the house, which happens frequently around here. And then also, there are always questions, of course, especially over the last few months, about the delayed tax bills. So it was, it's an interesting conversation and one I'm very happy to be able to share through somebody who has one of the other sides of the field where it's very important that the public be made aware. So it's another avenue, and I very much like having it there. And that's it.
Thank you. Okay. Public comment. Seeing none. We are back to legislative update, just since I did take a moment to take a look at some of my schedule, a few other things to highlight from this past month. I met with our place to discuss various outreach activities we can do to ensure that their participants are participating in civic life and the economy and the community more at large. So we'll be working more on that. As well as we met with an organization that is in discussions with our house to take over some of the administrative functions on that so that they can replicate that model throughout, which was always one of our goals when our house started up. So I'm really excited about that prospect. So they may be the ones applying rather than our place this fall, rather than our place. So
will priority be adding women still?
there would be all sorts, it would be expanding. But I can't make any guarantees on John. Yeah.
But they
But they've been meeting with families throughout the township who are ready to start investing in their adults housing. So we had a art show here. These are still up from this art show. This is all from the memory care and the health and welcome groups from the senior center. And we had some of the facilitators came and talked about it, and also some of the participants to discuss their art. So that was lovely. So yes, there's been a lot going on around the township. I believe you all received an email about the food pantry assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So do note that you will be receiving, once we have a candidate in mind and want to offer, the official approval will come through the board. Oftentimes we'll start someone before because we need the help, but always on a probationary basis per our manual. So that is exciting, but we will miss Nikki, and I know that she'll help whenever she can. So she's just done a wonderful job, and I know has been a huge asset, and sad to see her take a step back, but such is life. Okay, so legislative update. As you'll see in the toy document, a lot of stuff died in committee or didn't even get put into committee. A lot was in rules or in assignments, depending on which house they started in. But we did have a few things that got passed that I did want to highlight for us all. First of all, there's a creation of a Department of Disability and Guardianship to support adults with disabilities. So that's very exciting. That'd be a cabinet level position, really upping the gravitas for that department. Some of the budget highlights. There's going to be a pause in the motor fuel tax increase that was set to go into effect for affordability concerns. There'll be a back to school tax holiday in August, which we'll try to make sure that our school supply gift cards match up with. The Fresh program has families receiving emergency support for hunger. That's a $400 one-time assistance program for up to 175,000 people who lost their SNAP benefits due to the new requirements. There is also going to be a raise for direct support professionals who are helping a lot with our intellectual disabilities community. There were some changes to the audit requirements, but I do not believe that the final form actually impacts us at all. So, but it did pass. But we have more than 1.4 million in revenue across our two funds, so it shouldn't impact us. And it's not a bad idea to audit us ourselves. SB 3565. This was a bill that I was pushing extensively during the lobby day. And this was to clarify the expanded use of GA funds from food pantries beyond those who meet the requirements of GA, giving us some more flexibility there. So that did pass. The SB 2968, the nonprofit investment pool. If you recall, this is the one that Treasurer Mike Frericks had been pushing. We currently use Treasurer's investment pool for local governments. This would allow nonprofits to do the same. So it went through a few iterations and it did finally pass, overcoming some concerns that were levied last session to get past there. So a lot of our agencies will benefit from that. So they have a great return rate. SB 3291 is the county level will depository legislation, which I think will help a lot of our senior community. Because instead of being like, I need my attorney to hold this will forever, and then the attorney retires or the attorney dies, now there will be a centralized place where your will be, and we won't have to worry about, fighting forms and all that. So that's wonderful. There were also some other changes on that side as far as donations to nonprofits goes, which was cool. There were some changes to the property tax sales reforms regarding the equity that people gain. I'm sure Jan could tell us more about that. But there was a court case they were trying to address to ensure that it was not unconstitutional. And then a bill just as a reminder that townships used to have to do a lot of dealing with weeds, and that was one of the main reasons why we now support the Mayor's Monarch Pledge, is that there was a bill regarding requirements for weed cutting notices for townships. And thankfully, we no longer, here in New Trier Township, don't do that. Don't have to deal with that as much. But it's just a reminder that that was one of our original purposes, to deal with noxious weeds. And we have come a long way. All right, we have received staff reports.
Yeah, sorry, two quick questions. I noticed that there was a whole bunch of FOIA related stuff. Did things just die on the vine? Okay. And then
we can discuss some of the politics of it, but it's been a frustration for a few years now.
Okay. And then the other thing that I noticed was there was some stuff about Centennial Committee related matters, holding aside kind of individual items. Have you heard anything about either, the Decennial Committee report that we filed last year?
Nothing.
Or if our expectation is in 8 years, we're going to need to get the band back together?
That is my expectation.
Okay.
I would not be surprised if within by year 7, there's a push to make it optional.
Got it.
That is my guess. So we shall see. I did mention it to Commissioner Britton, like, oh, I assume you enjoyed our report. He giggled.
Yeah.
So, I have not heard of any use of them yet. I do believe when we first filed it, someone did FOIA us for it. So somebody
read it, theoretically.
Somebody read it,
Okay.
or at least wanted it, and it was already on our website. So that's pretty usual.
Is there anything we can do or advocate for lowering property taxes? Part of this affordability discussion is we have right now, we're topped with New Jersey as the highest property taxes in the country. And when we talk about affordability, what's unaffordable are property taxes for people to move in, particularly on the North Shore. So I see a lot of great legislation, but I don't see anyone really. I think Joe Sozanowski was maybe one of the few who introduced legislation to try to bring down property taxes to make it more affordable for people to remain in the state, remain in the county, remain in the township.
I
Do
do know that, so I mean, as a township itself, obviously, we're a very small portion.
Right,
So if we
of
can
course.
control what we can control on our, 0.06%, cent of that bill. The primary drivers are gonna be education. And there was a bill that Tracy Katz-Moll, who represents Glencoe, was pushing to provide funding for consolidation efforts of school districts. I think that would make a big difference around here. So I will have to check in with her on what happened. I know it passed out of the House. I don't know what happened in the Senate offhand, but I can check on that. But I do think there is appetite for smart solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
And obviously, we advocate for the taxpayer as a general matter, but primarily, in improving their lives, their health and well-being. We did receive staff reports. Is there anything anyone would like to take from one of the staff reports for discussion?
Well, for me, it was all good. I mean, all great reports. Arnold, he noted, 2 to 10 New Jersey Township business partners now for the food pantry, which is just
It's here.
tremendous. Steve talked about joining the Center of Concern in this Orchard Village initiative. So really good. Just amazing what all of you are doing, and of course, Orship and everything you're doing too. Trying to keep things going, and thank you for updating the agenda online after you finally got all the materials. 'Cause I think that's, I mean, it would have been nice to have that up Friday, but still, it's great to have it updated online. So if anyone was looking for the most recent agenda, they'd have all the materials in front of them.
Despite my best efforts.
I know, you
It's
tried.
too many
you
different
tried.
personalities trying to get this board meeting together.
No, I don't know how you do it, but you do it. Thank you very much.
I also want to give a hearty round of applause for Larisha on the Cab Connect efforts.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been a multi-year endeavor, but it was definitely part of our decennial report as far as efficiency on the dial-a-ride program.
Yeah.
So
We're officially out of dial-a-ride coupons, pretty much.
yay. If there was anything else anyone else wanted to bring up for discussion? Do note the furniture drive coming up, as well as 4th of July parades. We generally do Winnetka and Glencoe, so please let me know if you're interested in doing any or both. It's a good exercise as well as patriotic endeavor. I am very excited about the thrift crawl, and we're hoping to get that date for you soon. But yes, the furniture drive is the next thing coming up, June 20th. All right. We are now looking at new business. Is there any new business? Seeing none, the Housing Development Support Fund, and I will ask that Jessica, unless you disagree, read the preamble that you created. You have it.
I have it, but we didn't post anything, so.
Have a discussion point. But here, let's do this. Is there a motion to approve the New Trier Housing Development Ordinance as provided?
Well, I'll move so we can discuss it, right?
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion.
Okay, you wanna start? You're making your face.
No, go for it.
No, I mean, well, I grappled with this because we're like the only ones doing this, and I'm not sure. I feel like on the one hand, we should talk to residents, maybe put out a survey. Do you want some of your property tax levy going into directly into housing development. And sometimes I feel like down the road, maybe not this particular body, but down the road, they could turn into a housing developer of sorts, you know, the township working with other developers. And I'm just concerned about where this might go and might go down the wrong path. I outlined, I think you all had the comments, some of my concerns were like pre-development costs, capital expenditures, that a lot of what goes into a development upfront is infrastructure in the ground. And then if it doesn't get approved or it turns over at a later date, you've spent resident township tax dollars on water mains and utility upgrades and whatever else that maybe isn't what we're trying to accomplish with supporting affordable housing. So I tried to make suggestions to make it better and to avoid legal challenges, but I'm not sure we're there yet. And so I don't know. I mean, not to me. I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Per your question about whether other people do have, support affordable housing in their communities.
Other townships.
Other townships.
Yeah.
So other townships in Cook County, including Leiden Township is developing an 80-unit building to provide affordable housing to seniors. The township purchased a long vacant piece of land and donated it to the developers. It is also funded by HUD, the Illinois Department of Housing, Cook County conventional loans, alternative revenue bonds as well, with occupancy date expected September 2026. Hanover partnered on the 40-unit permanent supportive housing development for individuals with disabilities with HODC and others, which opened in the fall 2023, which I do remember seeing their groundbreaking on. The township then subsidizes those units for disabled residents and funds an on-site coordinator. So this is a movement that is happening right now, and as far as Cook County Township goes. Yes, Mark.
Oh,
Yeah, have we asked supervisors of these other townships for their policies to see what their policies say, or are they online?
No, I had not done that. I can. I do talk often with Leiden and Hanover.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy to do that.
It's tricky because I think that this is a good idea, but I'm a little bit worried about getting over our skis in terms of letting the excitement of the possibility carry us away from, people only look at contracts in bad states of the world. And I want to make sure that, we've thought through kind of all the possibilities so that, if heaven forbid something happens where we would need to, kind of figure out, well, what does the document say, that the document says something.
Additional discussion.
I also have some reservations about it. I was noting the reporting requirements, there was very specific things that we were going to ask for, but then the line that threw me off was failure to comply may result in repayment obligations. Who makes that decision and when does that occur? I share Jessica and Kate's concern. I'm not sure that the township, although the idea is terrific, I'm not sure the township should be in the business of housing development. And I know that's an overstatement, but that's kind of what my initial reaction is. And actually, I like Jessica's idea of perhaps soliciting input from the community, whether they're even interested in this, because I think that you will get some pushback. The township will get some pushback from certain individuals in the community if we get involved in this. So that would be a concern of mine. And I don't want to do anything to undermine the legitimacy or the effectiveness of the township. And in this particular context, I think we're starting to move over to that line. So that would be my reservations about it myself.
do any of the municipalities in the township have any policies for housing?
I do not know.
Curious.
Winnetka doesn't.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is this is not right for decision, and additional research and, is required. Is there a motion to table?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Seeing none, tabled. Before we adjourn, do know that there was a typo. The next meeting is not July 9th, but it's July 14th. I do want to make sure we will have a forum given the summer. Is anyone not intending to attend?
July 9th is on my list. I could be wrong, but I got that from that list that we approved.
Fine.
Yeah, I saw the 9th on.
So that's a Thursday.
But that's yeah, Thursday. I was gonna ask about that too for
Yeah,
that meeting.
I got it on the 14th. I must have got it from, all right.
Let's check.
I got the 14th, so I'm good. The
But I
9th
might
I wouldn't be
not
good.
hear either date, but I probably could attend by Zoom, at least participate.
Yeah.
Even if I can't vote.
I'm in the
Right.
same boat.
Oh,
Okay,
Might have
so
been looking at my June calendar, but I thought that we moved the July one to a different date than the 14th. I could be wrong. But I can adjust,
it does say the 9th on our calendar, but let me find the extra. Was it downstairs on the bulletin board?
yeah, it was on my approved days because sometimes we move the summer ones around.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
So it could have been not the 9th because I was looking at June.
Yeah,
The 7th would have been that same week. Type in schedule here.
Yeah, but isn't it usually the second
It is normally the second Tuesday.
Tuesday, which would be the 14th?
right.
Was there a reason?
I don't know. It could be. I can always change that.
I'm saying, isn't it on the bulletin board downstairs?
Yes.
Okay, well, we do, I do. Thanks. Let's go out, let's go. Let's
we'll have a date, so we have some idea. I like to
Right, I
kind
just
of,
wanna make sure we know, but.
yeah, so I can at least get it in there now. I mean, things are moving so quickly, right? That
Absolutely.
let's get those in there.
I gotta say the 14th in here,
Yeah.
so it's probably just a typo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our calendar always says 14th.
I have it on the 14th.
Okay.
So, we are anticipating Jessica being out. Trustee Tucker. Trustee Tucker, are you gonna be at it?
I'm sorry.
On the
At
14th.
14th?
Yes,
There we go, thank you. July 14th.
yeah.
With,
For a
with
couple
that,
weeks.
okay, so one, we still have a quorum.
I'll be here.
So, but we won't anticipate doing much. Does
That's
that
fine.
make sense?
It works.
All right,
So we're setting it for the 14th.
it'll stay on the 14th
14th.
for purposes of approving the checks.
You know, I have.
But we won't anticipate policy changes. All right, with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, I will see you on the 14th.
Yeah, so I'll miss the parades